Okay, so we heard from our saxophone section there, and Jacayla Powell on trumpet, also Kayla McDuffie over there on vibes with the sax soli. And next we are going to play a bassy tune we just pulled out of the library, I don't know, like a month ago, for the sake of doing some work with improvisation. For tonight though, we are going to hear from George Peterson on trombone and Jacayla Powell again on trumpet. Okay, so that was A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square, and we heard from Imani Wilkerson on trombone there. Thank you. We will always say yes to applause, so feel free. And so our next tune is a familiar tune from a musical that John Coltrane turned into a jazz waltz. This is My Favorite Things. so once again, we heard from Jacayla Powell on trumpet, and then we also heard from our lead alto player, Kenzie Hagemeyer, on that. Yes, there's. Before we start our next tune, I want to do a couple quick thank yous. There's lots of thank yous, but these are very important and I don't want to forget. We have two musicians joining us to help us out tonight. My student teacher, Miss Heather Swartz, is playing trombone over here. And we've got a Jefferson alum / Central senior, Isabella Horner, back there on trumpet helping us out. So we are so grateful they could be here and help us fill out our instrumentation when some people had to be away. So next we are going to play a blues tune, and we're going to hear from all kinds of people, soloists, and so we hope you enjoy. Okay, let me try to give a quick shout out to who all had solos. We had Zara on piano, Aaron on trumpet, Natch on tenor sax, who's that? Jacayla on trumpet, Imani on trombone, Kenzie on alto sax, Iris on tenor sax, Isabella on trumpet. Did I miss anyone? No? Okay. Awesome. All right, so this is our final performance for our season, and so I always kind of hijack a moment, even though we're not on our home turf, although as a Central grad, proud Central grad, this feels like home turf, to recognize all of these students for, as you heard Will say, they've been coming in early 3 days a week since September, which is, I think we were saying the other day, we think we have the longest season out of anything at Jefferson, and those early mornings are pretty tough. So I'm grateful for their dedication and for all of the support you families have been giving to get them there, because we know middle schoolers are not getting themselves to rehearsal before school. And I want to recognize our 8th graders because this will be their final performance with us. So if I could have all my 8th graders please stand and give them a round of applause. We are so appreciative. Obeys, Taylor back there, Taylor. Yes, so we are so grateful to their leadership. Some of them have been with us since 6th grade, and so it is so great. This is such a huge opportunity for younger students to learn from older students and get that wisdom, and you get to have that same experience as you go into high school, but you'll be the young students again. Okay, deep breaths, it'll be okay. We have one piece left titled All of Me. Thank you to Mr. Curry and Mrs. Curry for having us out. As always, we're so grateful for an opportunity to perform for a friendly audience.